What's up, gamers? Are you sad because you lost all of your money in crypto markets? Maybe you were a stock investor, but you still lost about 30% of your portfolio. I'm sad too. I lost about 50% of my portfolio. Even more than 50. I think it's about 60%. Sadness. But yeah, I normally don't talk about the market situation, how is it going. I don't want to talk about it at least, but sometimes I just feel like it. And it's also 69 subscribers, baby. So for the 69 subscribers special, so where's the market going? What are the lessons that I learned in this crash, let's say, and assume it's not gonna crash again, right? So market situation, where's the market going? This is easy. I'm just gonna say, nobody knows. Nobody knows except Fed Daddy. Nobody knows except the people who decide on what the interest is gonna be. Like if next time Fed comes, they raise the base points by 1.5, we are all fucked. It's gonna dip even more. But the way the market works, before uncertainty, people assume the worst. So if the news is same as the assumption, or if it's even a little bit better than what was assumed and priced into the market rallies back. So as we get closer to the next base increase, which is in 1.5 months or something like that, the market will dip again. And I think, and afterwards they will tell how much they raised or what are they gonna do, then we will see what we get. But before we get the base points increase again, we will assume the worst case scenario, which is going to be 0.75. For now, if our worst case scenario in our heads even goes lower, let's say we assume that they're going to increase 1 base point, it will dip. And the moment that they explain there is 0.75, it will rally. So I just say, don't touch the market. Don't give a shit about the market situation. Of course, have a base sentiment. Inflation is still there. Inflation will slowly reduce, but we can't decide 100%. So my strategy, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I give 60% chance that this is the bottom of the market and 40% chance that we will go lower. So 60-40, you know, it's pretty good ratio. But what I do, let's say I have $1,000 aside sitting for me to invest. Okay, this is not money that I need immediately, so this is not an emergency fund. This is just money that are there for me to invest. With the 60% of the money, I will invest into the market because I give 60% chance that this is the bottom, and with the rest of the 40%, it will stay there. And the next month, when since I kept the $400 aside, I can ask the same question again. And let's say the next month I say like 70%, this is the bottom, then I invest that 470% to the market. The next month, again. But the thing is, it's important what you buy. So if you're buying stocks, you need to understand the business. You need to know their financials. You need to have an understanding of the business model or the market that they are in. And you need to be able to educatively guess what that company will do. So for stocks, it's easy. You just listen to their annual meetings. And also, of course, you kind of get the understanding of the market. For example, if you're investing into Intel, you need to have some idea about the processor market, the server market, how is their outlook on the future and all, you know? And also, of course, you have to analyze their PE ratio, what are their earnings, how are their expected earnings next year's, what are some partnerships that coming, you know, stuff like that too. I buy the market. I don't give a shit. But of course, this is easy with stocks. I find this much harder with cryptos. And I think most of the cryptos are scam. I just got scammed in crypto. Did you know? In one of my videos, I suggested crypto.com. Shitcoin. The shittiest coin of all the world. I made a mistake. They promised a cashback card if I locked an amount of money. I locked that amount of money just to learn that they don't support my current country that I'm in. Dude, why didn't you tell me before I locked the money, you know? That's just rude and scam. Fuck you. Even though I lost 75% of my money in crypto.com coin, I will take my money and run away and never come back to you. See, those are some lessons that we learn. So be careful in the crypto market, but Bitcoin is the gold too. It is. That's what I think. So, and these prices are low. These prices are lower than the 2018 market top. And when you look over the Bitcoin prices, it's rare that the crypto, like the Bitcoin price, goes lower than the previous bull market's top. Those levels usually signal the bottoms. Now, I'm not saying we can't go lower than the 19K, the 20K. It's always possible that we can go to 10K, of course. It's holy shit. It's even possible that we can touch the 3K again. Who knows? But I think these are the bottom levels. If it goes lower, with the 40% of money that I left there, I will buy more. If it goes up, whatever. I invested 60% anyways, right? My investment strategy is just buy undervalued stuff that I understand. Now, I make mistakes that I buy stuff that I don't completely understand. Yes. But yeah, you learn. Since I gave you my strategy, let's go over my results. My stock portfolio took a lot of damage, but my loss in the last year from the stocks I hold is 20%. That's right. I lost 20%. And you know what S&P lost in this last year? 23%, baby. I'm rich, baby. I am Wall Street bets, baby. Now, 3% doesn't sound a lot, of course, but outperforming S&P is a metric that we use, and according to some research, like 90% of market doesn't outperform S&P anyways. So yeah, I am better than most of you guys. Get wrecked. Now, of course, I have a crypto portfolio too, which is the bigger chunk of my portfolio. And my loss in crypto market is around 65%. Now, in crypto market, we don't have a S&P, like a simple metric to use, compare against, but I use Bitcoin to compare, because if I performed lower than Bitcoin, why didn't I just buy Bitcoin, you know? And Bitcoin lost 55%, around 55%. So basically, I didn't outperform Bitcoin. I fucked up in crypto markets. I fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint. Now, the lessons learned. I'm just gonna give a summary. Okay, I have like 7 points that I wanna mention of the lessons that I. Rule 0 is, if you are buying something, you should understand what it is. You should understand the risks of holding that asset. Okay, so for example, if you're holding Bitcoin, you know that Bitcoin could get hacked, or you could get hacked and lose your private coins, private wallet, or the exchange that you hold your Bitcoin can get hacked and you become poor. You should understand the risks of it. Okay. And number 3, it should be an undervalued asset that you are buying, at least a fairly valued asset. We don't buy overvalued things. Okay. Now, the third part of the rule is it's a bit hard to say if it's undervalued or fairly valued, you know, but at least you should think it's undervalued. Okay. Just don't buy because you heard from someone. You should actually understand what it is, make some research, understand the risks, and also understand if it's undervalued, overvalued, where we standing, you know. Yeah, that's rule 0. Rule number 1, don't lose money. It's just that simple. Rule number 2, don't forget about rule number 1. My rule number 2, think long term, stay in the market. When you miss the best 30 days or something like that, there's analytics called, like, when you miss the best 30 days of the market, your potential gains decrease by like 60%, something like that. But what I'm saying is, it's hard to guess the best 30 days. It's just, we have to think long term and we have to invest long term. My strategy completely mirrors this. I just buy with the money that I don't need. And if I ever need it, I clearly made a bad calculation that I invested money that I shouldn't have, or just some unfortunate turn of events happen and I will have to sell with loss. Lesson number 3, rule number 3. When you are feeling rich and talking about and talking with people about your gains, you're like flexing a little bit. You're like, ah, dude, with this altcoin, I made like 60% money, man. Did you see this altcoin, man? I made 5x easy. Like, when you're flexing, when you are confident, when you are feeling rich, I feel like that might be signaling the top of the market. I'm not saying sell, but you should sell. But but I'm not saying sell, but just when you're at those moments that you're feeling this confidence, this feeling richness, you should consider what you have in your portfolio and rebalance your sheet. That's really important. I learned this lesson this bull cycle when I was feeling rich. I rebalanced my sheet, but I put my gains from the Bitcoin to some of the shitty altcoins, because what happened last year, like last bull run, was first Bitcoin rallied, Bitcoin stayed for a while, and then the altcoins even rally. So I tried to mimic that to get some of the more altcoin gains, and I got some gains, but I didn't sell most of it. So effectively, I just lost some of the profits I made in Bitcoin to shitcoins. Now, rule or lesson number 4 is the opposite of the rule number 3. When you're feeling scared and talking to people about it, maybe some people are like, hey Emre, how is your portfolio doing? Or like, hey, dude, I lost so much money that now I'm sad and shit like that. Those might be signaling the bottom of the market. Now, this doesn't mean, again, we can't go lower, but I'm just thinking that these kind of behaviors usually happen during the bottom of the market. But as I said, this doesn't mean we will rally back up directly, because I think we hit the bottom, then we go a little bit sideways. People just, right now people are crying. We go sideways, people stop crying. It gets a little bit forgotten, and then we get the bull run. So we still have some time, I think, but this is a signal to buy basic. Rule number 5. Actually, this is a really important rule. This should be at the top. Make sure that you understand the risk from all perspectives. Now, you might feel fine losing 10% of your portfolio. Okay, you might make some bets like that, but would you still be fine if rest of your portfolio lost 60% too? Now, all of a sudden, that 10% is much a bigger chunk of your portfolio, because the rest lost also 60%. Now, I learned this lesson recently. I just assessed risk poorly. There's 2 points for me this. When I was at the top, as I said, the Bitcoin rallied like 50K, around 50K. I sold some of my Bitcoins and put in some shitty coins, okay? And in that one, my thinking was basically this. Okay, I made some money. Let's put it to risk here, some small caps that I think might be profitable. Let's just try. At the time, it was my 5% of my portfolio. If I just cashed out that money, if that was in dollars or euros, that money would be around 20% of my current portfolio. I didn't think about that. I wouldn't want to lose 20% of my portfolio right now. 5% turn becomes 20%. So I didn't assess the risk there completely. I didn't understand that the rest of my portfolio will take damage too, If I knew with my old self now, I would make that 5% closer to 1%, 100%. If I went back in time, I would still invest into the shitcoins. I mean, not all of them. I wouldn't invest into crypto.com. Fuck you. But I would still own some of the shitcoins that I still have because I like them, but whatever. But maybe lower percentages, probably like 1%, This is a lesson learned. I didn't assess the risk properly. You have to assess the risk properly. And also, I was a huge buyer of Alibaba, actually. One of my biggest stock holdings is in Alibaba. And I didn't assess the risk there properly too. After seeing the Russian-Ukraine conflict, did you know what happened to the stocks in Russian market? So if you own a Russian company in Europe or in America, let's say the stock price is $10, okay? And you own them, everything is good. After Russian-Ukraine conflict, all those stocks got delisted from most of the markets. So your holding of that Russian company is dead. They literally forced you out of your investment. Now, this, I don't find this ethical. I think this is bullshit, but this is the game. and we have to play by the rules of the game. Okay. So after seeing that, I realized that political conflicts have a huge role in the market too. And of course, I own my Alibaba stocks through a US owned stock market because, yeah, that's kind of the rules. And if something were to happen with China and US, it's a little bit warm environment too. All of those investments would probably got delisted and would get fucked too. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I still didn't sell my Alibaba because I think it's a good investment. And I think the chance of that happening is relatively low. So I didn't sell it, but I'm not buying any more Alibaba stocks too. So I recently learned about the risk, like after the Russia-Ukraine war, seeing that Russian stocks getting delisted, I saw the risk, and now I don't want to take more risk in that, So what I'm trying to say is I should have known that, like if you are buying something, you should understand what you are buying. Lesson number 6. Investing is simple. Just research. Rule 0 again. You should know what you're buying. You should research. You should put the time. This is really important. If you're buying some shit coins, come on, man. Come on. Know what you're buying into. Most of those are scams anyways. Like, I'm sorry if anyone lost money in Luna. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But why didn't I invest in USDT? Why didn't I invest in Luna? Can I ask? Why? Because I saw that it's an algorithmic stable coin and the Luna economy is kind of dependent on that. And at the time I was like a little bit respecting Luna because they are creating a portfolio. They were creating a portfolio from Bitcoin, from other coins. So they were kind of becoming an index fund. But I still knew that it was a algorithmic stable coin that was depending on the index fund. So what it meant, and knowing, like if you just did some research, knowing that the success rate of algorithmic stable coins, which is currently at 0%, it's risky. It's risky, man. Like you should have seen the risk. I'm not saying you shouldn't have invested in it, but at least you should have known the possibility that an algorithmically stable coin could get attacked and get fucked, I mean, I'm not saying if you knew this and you still invested some amount of money, my hat's off to you. You did your job. That was good. You assessed the risk. You still bought it because you saw potential, and it's good, But yeah, you should just make your research and understand the risks. Investing is actually simple. Investing is simple. You just need to research. And rule number 7. This is really important, okay? This is really, really important. There will always be opportunities. Don't rush anything. Okay. Now, I learned this lesson during the bull run. As we were getting the bull run, I was buying mainly some stocks. Okay. I was buying Intel because I wanted to have more stocks. At the time, I had 0 stocks. Okay. So I was still buying, but I was buying the stocks that I think were at least fairly valued, like Intel. And my loss in Intel from the places that I bought, my average buy, is 13%. What that means is that, yeah, I saw the loss. Yeah, I saw. But 13% compared to the 25% we saw in S&P is still good. So there's always opportunities. In the bull run, we have opportunities. In the bear run, we have opportunities. There's always opportunities. Don't rush into buying anything. Don't rush into buying stuff that you don't know. If you miss out on it, you miss out on it. It's okay. It's just don't rush on anything, and there will always be opportunities. If you think that there is no opportunity, just look harder. We will get our opportunities. It's okay. Yeah, those are my lessons that I learned. I hope you learned something, and please give me some tips too. And I'm really happy that we have 69 subscribers. I know most of you guys are my friends, but thank you. Really thank you. This 69 subscribers means a lot for me. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It will make my day. Thank you very much. And I just want to say, even if the market looks sad as it is, as long as we seek good investments and keep investing with a sound strategy that we have, I believe eventually we will be better than where we started. And once again, thank you for the 69 subscribers. My next subscriber goal 420. When we hit 420 subscribers, epic gaming